So we're here at the Baltic Payments Forum in Lithuania and Vilnius, and we're effectively spending a lot of time talking about how to stay resilient in the time of change. We are now at a time where there's unprecedented trends that are driving the future of banking, future of finance. And just to draw a few of these trends out, in order to answer the question, how should traditional banks stay competitive? So first of all, AI is the name of the game. We are seeing use cases both within the automation sphere of AI and the sphere of agentic AI utilization across commerce and across embedding AI into the way how clients are being serviced. That's one big trend which we need to be continuously incorporating into the way we operate. Secondly, we see a shift from open banking to open finance, which is now starting to evolve into embedded finance. Embedded finance is the future. That is the way an ecosystem play is being created, and traditional institutions need to more and more embrace that way of servicing the complexity of their client needs. Thirdly, a big trend that we're talking about is tokenization and digital currencies and the way the digital economy is starting to build itself on the traditional rail model. And last but not least, a lot of time is being spent on cross-border payments, on I would say transferring knowledge that has been built in the payments industry on a domestic market to cross-border models, and within the B2C space, more actively now infusing it into the B2B area. So effectively, I think the takeaway from the day today is that we're entering a phase of creating pilots, experimenting, into starting to deploy these solutions at scale and bringing them into execution also within the traditional banking space. So from a payments perspective, when we look at the risk and opportunities, let's first zoom in on the opportunity front. First of all, interoperability. We are now at a time where payments can be so embedded and so interoperable within the wider embedded finance model that it will create new revenue models at the moment of sale. Something which was not available back in the days where effectively where you were doing a payment, you were only able to take advantage of the payment itself. Now with an embedded model, payments can be part of a bigger value proposition for which the client will be paying, creating new revenue streams. I think that's the biggest opportunity. Payments becoming a completely new way of, again, defining the interaction and blending themselves into a revenue and value creation model. From a risk perspective, I think, end of day regulations. We do see an overwhelm of regulatory frameworks that are stepping in. It is a risk. It is also an opportunity. It will create new business models within the RegTech space, but we need to be mindful of regulation. Regulation drives the way we operate, and in particular, the payment space will see a few new implementations. Hence, it is a risk, but it is a risk that we all need to, as market players, mitigate, address, and hopefully take advantage of. Great. Well, I think, end of day, we are in a small but very important country as part of the fintech community in Central Eastern Europe. Lithuania has set itself up as a very strong center for utilizing the local licenses to house international players. We have a few examples of that. So I think for us, for me in particular, it is a great way to learn and see how, as said, a agile, I would say, innovative country can build itself into a front runner in certain parts of the changing fintech landscape. So it should serve, and it hopefully serves as an inspiration for, in particular, more mature markets, such as other parts of Central Eastern Europe, how we can take advantage of, the innovative framework and being a bit more, I would say, from the very beginning of building business model, looking outside of the country rather than being very much inward focused, which sometimes is the case in countries such as Poland, where we have a big domestic market. Here, the name of the game is about internationalization. The name of the game is about looking above, is about looking outside. And I think that is a big learning for all of us, how, in the new, I would say, geopolitical world, we can more and more create international business, international frameworks, and operate with a global mindset at scale.